guys, look how fancy. Look at this fancy room and the view over the ocean and the port. I'm in Skopelos, Greece, and this is the port that will bring me to Skopelos Island tomorrow, where I will volunteer for about a month until the end of February. Craving for sun and sea since a long time now. So, sun, sea, all I ever wanted. The early ferry went to sea right at sunrise. The sun was hidden by clouds pretty soon and rain appeared, which gave me time to work on another video during the 4-hour journey. But soon we arrived on the biggest island of the northern Tatres. So why am I going to Skopelos? Another workaway adventure waits. I found out about Heather, a British native living on Skopelos for more than 40 years. She dedicates her time finding, restoring and reactivating forgotten paths, using it for hikers. Back in the days, most of the paths, called calderimi by the locals, were used by donkeys and people to transport all kinds of goods and navigate from town to town, springs, churches and properties. Heather established Skopelos Trails, where she set the goal to give new life to these trails, hosting countless volunteers from Workaway, friends, residents and even people who want to do something new and meaningful during the holidays, helping her doing so. She nowadays offers hiking tours and also publishes books about the flora and fauna of the island. You can find all these informations in the description. What you can also find in the description is my Workaway invite link. If you want to try Workaway, go subscribe to it through my link. It won't cost you anything more. You will actually benefit from it. You will get 1 additional month for free, and I will get 3 additional months for free. Workaway is a great thing if you want to experience a new and unique style of traveling, dive deep into the culture of your host, learn some new skills, share your skills, make some incredible lasting memories and lifelong friendships. Workaway is for you. Go for it, try it, it's absolutely amazing. I'm using it since 8 years now, and I've been from the Sahara to the Côte d'Azur, and I won't miss one of these amazing adventures I had. Back in Athens, I met a 22-year-old girl who just came back from her own Workaway experience, and when I told her that I'm doing this since 8 years, she was like, "Oh, you're one of the old guys." I died inside. Anyway, let this old one tell you, try Workaway, it's absolutely amazing, you won't regret it. After I arrived and had a few days to explore the island and some already done hiking trails, we went to search for a trail that Heather worked towards for years, one that was well hidden for a long time. She knew where it would end, but not where exactly it would lead, nor in what condition the trail would be. Our goal was to connect this path, which passes an ancient bridge, to a path that would connect it with the town and other trails. But first we needed to figure out a way through the gorge, which was covered in thorny slimex, blackberries and other beauties of botany. This was one of the coolest things for me, exploring this dry riverbed and then eventually finding an actual old trail. But there wasn't only dense vegetation and old cobblestone paths to discover. Along the trails from time to time we found some remains of buildings, which probably were some kind of mills. After about 2 hours and with bleeding shins, we reached the bridge and knew what we had to do to make this trail walkable again.
Oh wow! Oh,
Nice. So it's going down, but look, up there is a path.
yes, yes.
Of course.
Wow.
Skopelos has a long history, as it is inhabited probably since more than 18 centuries, and it first became really well known when being an important trade harbor for their so-called aphrodisiac wine and high-quality olive oil. That brought wealth to the island. This wealth disappeared when pirates, yeah, there were also pirates in the Aegean Sea, not only the Caribbean, took over the island, and it became more of a place of exile. From this time on, it was a constant up and down, which only got worse and found its peak in 1453 AD, when Skopelos was torn back and forth by Venetian rule and Ottoman attacks. In this year, Algerian pirate Barbarossa entered the harbor of Skopelos. He apparently came to, let's say, help end the conflict between Venetian and Ottoman empires. But he had a very unique way of doing so. He slaughtered or enslaved most of the population of Skopelos, and the only survivors were hiding in the mountains inside the island. From this time on, Skopelos was under Ottoman rule until 1821, when the revolution took place, and in 1831. And in 1831, the island, alongside the other islands of the Northern Sporades, became part of the new nation of Greece. Today, Skopelos' main source of income is tourism. Most of the 15,000 annual tourists come to the island between May and October. These tourists seek not only the beaches or old craftsmanships like pottery, but also see Skopelos as a traditional, authentic, not overrun island, which is a contrast to the famous Santorini or Mykonos. It is said that since the movie Mamma Mia was filmed, the tourism increased, but I did not find any numbers about it. One of the most visited places on the island is the Agios Ioannis Church, or Church of St. John in English, which is undoubtedly the most scenic church of the island. Well, this place mainly got fame from its appearance in said movie, and nowadays many tourists visit the island mainly to have their Mamma Mia moment at the church. All over Skopelos you can find churches and monasteries, around 380. I found various numbers and different sites, so I can't tell you which one is the right, as I did not count them. Anyway, that's obviously a massive amount and lies within the deep faith of the inhabitants, or at least as they had it in the past decades. Some of them are open to public and can be visited. But let's get to the really interesting part. Skopelos has a unique and very beautiful flora and fauna. Being one of the places with the most rain per year in whole Greece, it's a surprisingly green island. And there are much more hidden gems to explore than churches. So I reached the plateau now. Somewhere here there must be some graves. Let's see if I find them. So this is just such a perfect weather for what I'm gonna show you today. So I took a hike from the town of Skopelos. It was around 2 hours, and somewhere here on this plateau there are carved graves, very old carved graves. And while it's not known how old these graves actually are, who built them and all that stuff is estimated, assumed, but not really known, there are a lot of myths. Some are rather funny or weird and some are rather spooky. So this is why I think this this atmosphere is absolutely perfect for this. Apparently from here you usually have a great view over Alonissos. Not today, not today. So they were probably built between the late Roman or early Christian times. But other than this, at least I couldn't find much more information about them. And because there is not much known about it, of course, that gave place for a lot of myths and theories. So one of them, maybe my favorite one, is the one of the pirates. So there is the myth that these are pirate graves, and that beneath those, somewhere under those graves, there must be a pirate treasure. Of course, it hasn't been found yet, because everybody who tries to get it is cursed. Another theory is that whoever have been buried here is still here, at least they're ghosts. There are stories about lights and whispers, noises around here at night. Also that sometimes you hear weird sounds, noises, whispers in the wind. So yeah, this is one of the beliefs. Of course, I mean, it's a graveyard, that's classical. If you want to know why people feel like that, or feel that they hear strange noises, feel a bit weird about being next to graveyards, especially at night or in abandoned buildings, check out my video about Zagreb. because there I've been to many abandoned buildings and all of them were apparently haunted. And there I explained how myths like this evolve, like how people come up with this. Another myth is that it wasn't only a graveyard, but a place of worship, of secret or hidden rituals of early Christians or maybe even some other pagan cults or whatever. The last myth I found, the last theory I found about this place is that it was a graveyard for noble people that ruled over Skopelos or even kings, and that it's actually an unfinished graveyard because no bones have ever been found here. Who knows? Okay, I'm gonna get off of this mountain. First of all, I don't wanna upset the ghosts that are still here. And also, it's fucking cold. It's one of the coolest things about this job here. I'm able to explore a lot of abandoned places. One is this little hut here, we don't know what it is. Kind of looks like a huge caprile, which was the shepherd huts in Elba. And anyway, in there, yesterday we found a bed. I am not good with bed identification, but Heather told me that the bed friend she had told her that this must be a horseshoe bed. Well, they got their name because of their horseshoe-like nose, and I think with a bit of fantasy you can see exactly that. Overall, bats are great animals. They eat mosquitoes, a lot of them. Sadly, they suffer a lot from habitat loss and light pollution. So be smart, plant a lot of native plants. Put a bat box in your garden and also turn off the light in your garden when you do not need it. There is also one scorpion species on the island and we were lucky enough to spot it while working in the woods. While scorpions have a quite bad reputation among humans, as it just very often is, it's basically bullshit. Some stings can definitely be painful. Most scorpions cannot really harm you. Of the 2,300 species known worldwide, only about 25 possesses a venom strong enough to actually kill a human. This one here is absolutely harmless. So, as always when you find wildlife, observe them from the distance and be friendly. You're in the living room. So we just found Cytinus ruber, like in a very early stage. It's a parasitic plant that exclusively lives on the rock rose and is growing out of their roots. This is, like I said, a very early stage. At one point they will come out of the soil. Found this the first time like 2 years ago in Sicily. Made a video about it, check it out. By the way, the weather really challenged us during my time on the island. While the first day after my arrival was an early spring day, the following 4 weeks remained cold, rainy, windy, and sometimes even snowy. While snow isn't totally unusual for Skopelos, the amount of cold and rainy days we had in February were. Anyway, we did our best and started to clear the trail so it would be finished before I leave at the end of the month. That included a lot of chainsaw work as often trees and bigger branches would block the way. But it was a fun job overall, rediscovering this trail that had been used for probably decades or longer and was forgotten, now comes back to life and will help people explore the nature of Skopelos. On the last weekend I had on Skopelos, I was happy to witness one of the most fascinating and ridiculous traditions. It is called Tatres. Now, I don't know exactly how this tradition came up, but let me tell you how I, as an outsider, saw this. Multiple teams, guys from the early 20s down until elementary school kids, come together, most of them dressed as girls, build boats out of random materials which will never even float half a sea mile. They decorate it with a lot of stuff and put a chimney on it with a fire they constantly feed with olive oil and plastic bottles. Then they run around town carrying their boats. At all squares they stop, get food and mostly alcoholic drinks from people living there. The younger ones celebrate with sugary juices, of course. On all of these squares they sing and dance. They do this for hours and naturally they get shit-faced as hell. Only watching them made me wanna drink again, even though I just fully recovered from a 2-day hangover the day before. As they reach the harbor again, as far as I know, the goal is to bring the boats in the water, and the team which can make their boat float the furthest wins. I have no idea what they win or if this is actually the real goal, but I had the feeling that things kinda got out of hand at some point, and instead of putting the boats in the water, we ended up in a riot-like chaos, and most boats ended up as a huge bonfire on the beach, with all the participants dancing in a circle, embracing brotherhood and whatever. They just got absolutely smashed and had a great time, I guess. This was probably the most entertaining thing I saw on Skopelos. After this havoc, the sun finally decided to come out again, and we went on to finish the last leg of the trail, finally connecting it. I was quite proud we made this happen in the short time we had, and I really hope that the trail network on Skopelos continues to grow with the help of many other volunteers. Hedda and Skopelos made sure I felt like home and had another amazing workaway experience. So do you remember up here on the right is the way up to the trail? There you can see it.
Oh.
So this is...
Oh, that's the bit of trail that everything has to stop.
Exactly. This is this pool where we said there is this nice little pool down here. Should I take the first sip or you?
You can take it, it's your birthday.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations to us.
Congratulations to us for finishing the trail.
Yep.
Right. So how is this called again?
Chippewa.
Chippewa, and it's made out of old grape skins.
The rest of
The rest of it. Nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ja, Schnaps heute. It's okay. So that was Skopelos. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hit the like button, subscribe to all that stuff, and I really hope to see you next time.